You can't sleep when you're dead. That is chapter 5 in Nilofer Merchant's new book, Our Best Work, Break Free from the 24 Invisible Norms That Limit Us. The limiting norm is give it your all. The leading indicator, so the freeing aspect, would be to give and to get, so for there to be more balance. Now, what really popped out to me during this particular chapter is where Nilofer speaks about the fact that we joke, I'll sleep when I'm dead. But the problem with that is, well, we're dead. Work turns the loving, generous and creative spirits of us wanting to care and give it our all into a one-sided economic benefit for the firm. Until this is rebalanced, we limit the potential of each and every one of us. And let's be clear, effort matters. No one's saying hard work is irrelevant. Most people who succeed do work hard, but so do millions who never get a shot. What makes meritocracy a myth isn't that merit is fake. It's that merit alone never determines the outcome. Structural advantage shapes who gets seen, who gets mentored, who gets forgiven, who gets funded. And those advantages often feel like nothing at all. Just a good school, a second chance, a door left open. And that's the trap. And the other bit I wanted to share from the same chapter is where Nilofer speaks about the fact that that's a power imbalance of pretty epic proportions. Work is like the casino, where the house always wins. And this power disparity has deep roots. When the system of slavery was legally abolished in America, nearly 4 million formerly enslaved people were set free, but had no land, jobs, money, or ability to sustain themselves. At the same time, the former slave owners still needed labour to cultivate their land. So a new system emerged, sharecropping. With a sharecropping contract, those struggling for physical and economic survival were granted small plots of land to farm. Instead of paying rent, since they had no money of their own, they were required to give a proportion of their crop yield, called shares, to the landowner. Laws were put in place that entitled the owners to set the value of any crop. Not only that, sharecroppers were also forced to buy the necessary fertiliser, tool, animals and machinery from the landowner or local merchant on credit, often at exorbitant interest rates. The farmer set the price of what they used and what was sold, often invisible to the sharecropper. The result of this power imbalance was that sharecroppers were barely able to make ends meet and were always indebted. The formerly enslaved people were technically free, but now trapped in a different way. And they were told if they weren't succeeding, it was on them. How similar is that to our current economic systems? I'm sitting in a semi-detached house here in Kent in the UK with a ridiculous amount of privilege. I'm paid well in my job. I have a pension, potentially, in 15 years' time. But I know that all of this is true. I know that I'm trapped within a system that doesn't care about me. I know that ultimately I can enjoy my work as best as I can, and I try to do that. But at the end of the day, the system is completely corrupt. It is predicated on keeping the global majority of 85% of humans in bondage to the system, in particular, because that's where our raw materials come from. That's how the global supply chain works. And there's just a massive invitation within this book, positively, our best work. We can reimagine what our best work is, but particularly we need to reimagine what power looks and feels like, what justice looks and feels like. And I think this is a conversation that we should all be in. So my invitation to you is buy Our Best Work by Nilofer Merchant. Her next book, Bioliness as well. It's an absolutely incredible read. And the two books combined really are transformational, and I don't use that word lightly. So yeah, what are you thinking and what are your thoughts? I hope that you do go and pre-order. It's going to come out early in 2026. Our Best Work, Break Free from the 24 Invisible Norms That Limit Us, from Nilofer Merchant. The first business book, honestly, that is truly systemic in its design, I believe. But I welcome your thoughts and challenges. Take care, everyone. Bye.